Hi guys, back again with me Austin from My Boy at Heart. Today I'm going to share to you my experience on Hasbro Marvel Legends series 3 3/4" Guardian of the Galaxy box set. So, oops, wait a second. Okay, alright. So I'm going to share more on what's the difference with the previous releases. Unfortunately, I don't have the 3-pack Star-Lord, Rocket Raccoon and Drax. Okay, there was a 3-pack, but I can make a comparison at least with the single card version and of course the comic pack. Okay, so hopefully it'll be helpful and we'll see how it fares with this box set. So let's take a look at the packaging first. The packaging is quite big for this scale, but after all it contains 5 figures inside. So it's an open window. I don't have the inner plastic, but inside there's a logo of Guardian of the Galaxy and then Marvel Guardian of the Galaxy Toys R Us exclusive. The name Star-Lord, Gomorrah, Rocket Raccoon, Drax Grid, and Marvel Legends series up top. May not be visible, is it? Yes, it's visible. Now, nothing much. At the back, there's a bit of bio, of course, which is the most important thing, and the artwork. The artwork is cool, and probably it's being, not probably, I believe it's being, it was shot with the best sample that they had. I wish that's the figure that we can have. There's a bit of bio. You can pause now if you want to read it. Okay, and basically blasters, blah blah. All right, so that's about it with the packaging. First of all, Star-Lord, this is from the single card, okay, release. Of course, I do have the comic pack release as well, but since I believe this body mold that's being used is very much similar to the one in the single card, I'm not going to compare it with this. The paint scheme is pretty much different. Okay, so this guy is a better comparison to the box set figure. Okay, anyway, all right. Of course, the first obvious differences is that this is the first Star-Lord which is being released without the helmet or without the mask. Okay, this is a cool helmet. I still love this, but this is the first time that we have it like this, and it's opened up with the additional. I'm not sure if it's additional, but it seems that on this box set figure, the neck is longer. Okay, and it's painted in the skin color. Okay, whereas this one, its neck is kind of plummet into the part of the clothes here. Okay, the collar. Okay, so this way it looks. It seems like he looks taller than this. Okay, but there's more to that. Anyway, just want to mention to you as well. Although the blue color, the blue color that's being used is very much similar. I know the red coloring here are very similar, but somehow I spotted that the single card figure has more shading, which I'm going to show you a bit closer, just a few moments. Okay, one thing to know also is that if you see the logo here on his chest, the distance between this logo to the belt, okay, is different. It seems to me that they have moved up the belt part here upwards closer to the chest, whereas this one is a bit lower. And then the belt, they use what do you call this, dark brown, whereas this is full black. And if you see another thing is that there's a part of the clothes that's just go through in the mold, go through the belt, right? See this part of the cloth is more visible on the single card, whereas this one is there. I can see it's there, but it's just hidden behind the belt. so it's kind of shorter. It's not really visible down here. Alright, very much similar concept. And if you see here, if you remember, if you can refer to watch my video sharing on this guy, this figure was molded or designed, especially the part on the legs and the part of the body, to be somewhat good at action poses. You know, he looks a bit funny, especially on his especially on his leg here. Okay, it's very hard to make him stand. Of course, with the articulation that is provided, we can make him stand with a basically with a closed leg. Okay, but it's easier to pose him like this. I mean, because it's the way of his engineered somehow on this figure. Whereas the new one, the box set figure, if you see this, the opening of the leg is not really compared to this is tighter. Okay, see, it's closer, and he can stand easily compared to this figure. Okay, of course, the difference as well in the boots. This seems to be a little bit higher than this one, and the color is a combination of a bit of kind of dark. It's a black, probably black, and the dark brown to match with the belt, whereas this one is all black. Okay, again, the opening of the leg is different, and it's very hard for this one to stand. Okay, for the shooting part, I'll show you a bit closer. Alright, for example, on the arm here, okay, there's this part on the figure. There are more shadings. May not be very visible through the camera, but I can see it very clearly from here. Alright, and at the back as well, so there are less shadings on the new figure compared to this one. Okay, and somewhat I feel that the blue that being used is a bit more pale, but very minor, not much difference at all actually. Now I'm gonna focus on this one at the moment. It's good to have more option, but somewhat Hasbro still have the same issue with the quality control, especially the paint on the eyes. Okay, it's too bad because while the eyes is painted, it's not a good proportion, and the direction of the eye is very bad basically. Of course, this day there are a lot of guys that can customize the eyes, but actually the sculpt, not talking about accuracy to the comic here, but at least for action figure wise, in this scale, the sculpt is not bad. The lips, the nose, the hairs, I like it with all the texture, okay, of the hair. It's not that bad actually, but they even painted a little bit on this part of the cheek, like a very thin layer of beard. Okay, a bit of black layer there. But I wish they could have done the eyes better. Okay, and again the neck is actually not bad. You can see a bit of details there. Other than that, it's still a very functional figure. Just need to fix the eye. Okay, articulation is very much similar. Ball joint on the head, so rotation fully, but not much up and down motion, side to side, not much rotation on the, what do you call that, on the abdomen as well, a bit to the back, may not be very visible, but to the front, side to side not so much, but full rotation is there. Similar with the previous figure is full rotation, ball hinge a bit up, by adjusting the hinge you can do all kind of motion. Okay, the rotation up here on the bicep, Okay, sorry about that. It's a full rotation. The elbow can bend this much, and rotation on the wrist. So very similar, no differences. It's a ball joint with a bit of a gap, which allows you to do this kind of split. Okay, so that's cool. Up here there are there's rotation. There are rotations actually if you count both legs, and then double jointed knee, very similar to the previous single cut figure, and no rocker ankle, but you have rotation and up and down motion, not so much, but it's there, the joints are there. For the accessories of Star-Lord, we have these two pieces of gun. It's very much similar, the same mold, it's just the difference in color. Okay, this is from the single card Star-Lord. Very similar mold, right? No differences at all, just different paint. This one is more metallic silver, whereas this one, the single card, is kind of chrome, a bit bluish. Okay, both are cool for me, but I still prefer this more. But anyway, it's not bad actually. Okay, from the comic pack, it's similar to the single card version. It's just that the color is slightly lighter. Okay, the bluish part is slightly lighter. Here's the comparison with the other releases or variation of the character so far. Okay, comic pack movie version. This is the box set unmasked, and this is from the single card. For Drax, the upper half of the body is still using the same mold as the old one. This is from the single card. This is the new one, newer one. Okay, the differences is even the green color are very much similar. It's just that one is the paint, kind of the red part of tattoo. If I'm not, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's basically the new one is painted differently than the single card version. Okay, and then the tattoo I'll show you later. The red lining tattoo on the chest is different. If you see, the pointy part is here on the upper chest and here as well, and then there's a little bit additional paint of tattoo on the abdomen, whereas this one, the newer one, doesn't have it. Okay, but the one on the arm is pretty similar. Oh, different as well. If you can see, it's different. Sorry about that. The pattern is different. Okay, this is bigger somehow. All right, and the back is different as well. Okay, this to see the pattern of the paint. Okay, this one is kind of like 2 point, and this one is longer down. The one at the side, the arm also different. Okay, all right. Now another thing is that I felt that the older one, which is from the single card, has more shading as well. Compared to the newer one, I can see a lot of shading, especially in the part of the abdomen with all the muscles. Whereas this one is a bit more plain compared to this. Okay, similar belt, in my opinion. It's just that the black coloring here on the newer one is a bit pale compared to the one from the single card. Basically, the single card is the black looks better compared to this one, and I found that the belt on this version is a bit prone to move, okay, from its place. So you just have to adjust it from time to time. It's not the hardest thing to do in the world, so that's okay in my opinion. You can see even the shading on the back is quite apparent, and I'm going to show you the differences on the eyes. Okay, this is from the box set. Okay, look at the eyes, and this is from the single card. Okay, So I think cool, both are cool figures, but the main difference is from the leg. Okay, if you see the leg, this is, well, it's not new, but it's applied somehow to this figure. I like this better because it has more articulation on the ankle, which allows him to have more poses and easier to stand. Alright, now I'm gonna focus on the newer one. Alright, like I said, the upper body half is very similar to the old releases. The belt is the same as well, but this leg part is kind of new, okay, but not actually new, because this lower part here is derived from Iron Man figure. This is Iron Man, one of the Iron Man figure. See, it's very much the same. Alright, but the upper thigh is different. Maybe you can just find something that's similar. Anyway, this is cool, and knowing this, you can always modify yourself. Of course, I like this part. It looks more muscular compared to this figure. Unfortunately, there's a bit of quality control issue on this side. Okay, it's not smooth. Another thing is that the articulation here is very loose on the chest, okay, which is something that didn't happen to me in my single card figure, but that's okay. I plan to move the whole leg, which is because it's just a ball joint, so it's very easy to move from this one to this one, okay, but you can always modify yourself if you want to. For Drax's articulation, the head is still the same because the upper body, just make it quick, ball joint basically, okay, ball joint as well, to the front, to the back, a bit side to side, not bad, and not a full, yeah, it's a full rotation actually. Ball hinge joint, up, rotation, adjusting the hinge. That's the extent of it. Same with Charlotte, rotation up here, okay, on the bicep. Alright, and then elbow can bend this much, rotation on the wrist, okay. It's a ball joint with a bit of opening, so you can do this much, okay. There's a bit of opening for the leg, front kick, back kick, not so much. Now the leg is on double jointed knee, okay, that's the extent of it. And of course, what's cool with this Iron Man is you have rock ankle, okay. You have rock ankle, which help with posability and up and down motion, so that's really cool. Oh, I forgot one thing. I felt that if you look at the previous release, okay, the arm here cannot move inward more than that. That's the extent of it, okay. It kind of stuck somewhere in the mold area, whereas this one they kind of fixed that, okay. Look at this, okay. Look at that. It's very minor but kind of cool as well. But somehow I felt he's a bit bulkier in a way, which is good for Drax, so that's why I'm gonna move that leg here anyway, okay. And it has more shading. Now that I look at it, the green here look more pale compared to this. It's more lively on this one. And by the way, the same accessories at the back still working, still the same old small knives. By the way, while I'm playing with it, I realized that it's actually a bit different. The one from the single card is more solid, it's not bendable. I like it better that way, and it is painted more beautifully. I can see a bit of it looks metallic, whereas this one kind of pale on the blade area, and it's very rubbery. See, I prefer this from the single card actually, although the mold is the same, but the feeling is different. Okay, and I still prefer this. Okay, now Gomorrah. Not to confuse you, the one in the middle is from the box set. This is from the comic pack, and this is from the single card. Of course, the very obvious differences between these two is the skin tone, which is darker on her face, and the hair color. Okay, this one is an older green. Okay, another very apparent one, although it may not be very visible through the camera, is the white on the armor, the whole armor is looks better. It's more like really true white, whereas this two is very similar. It's a bit yellowish. Okay, all the body and all the health is entirely the same figure, in my opinion. Okay, very much similar, but the difference and the head color, this color scheme on the head with the comic pack are very similar. The difference that I can easily spot is that there is some part of this okay, the black area here on the armor, on the inner part of the thigh, okay, a bit on the arm, it's here as well. It's all black, right? If you see. Now on the new one is actually more like blue navy. Okay, I'll get closer to you. See, if you look at it now, it looks more bluish than this. Okay, it looks black, even more apparent if you look at her butt. No, I'm not joking. There, see, it looks blue. It's a navy blue, very old navy blue. So that's the difference, and the another differences is the here. Okay, yeah, a bit of on the paint scheme is this part. There's white lining here, right, on the top, where this one it doesn't have it. Yeah, okay, but other than that, very much similar, with the same issue as well. It's not painted. Very it's not really neat on the paint work. Actually, I even like the execution on the single cut better, especially they execute the face better compared to this new one, and the paint on the body is better as well. Let's take a look closer on this one. The paint on the eyes is not bad. Okay, it's not bad, but still not the best compared to the one. I felt that the proportion of both eyes on the single card is better, in my opinion. See, even there's a bit of mispaint here and there. For the articulation, is very similar because it's the same body mold anyway. I'll do it very quickly. Ball joint on the head, a bit of movement side to side, up and down. Okay, no, nothing here. It's a ball hinge joint on the arm here. Okay, of course you can do rotation, adjusting the hinge, then maybe yes. The elbow is this much, it's more than 90 degrees, but the rotation is on the elbow as well, so it doesn't have wrist rotation. Okay, it's on a ball joint but with a bit of a gap to allow for this opening. Okay, front kick, back kick, nothing really hinders by this. Double jointed knee and rocker ankle. Okay, with upward and downward motion. For her accessories or weapons, we get the same swords and guns. This is the sword. Okay, it is very similar to the one from the single card. Okay, I don't spot any major differences. Even the material is the same. It's very bendy. Okay, it's from the single card, also very bendy. Alright, now for this one, the comic pack actually is really good, although it uses the same material. Not really good, but the paint is different. Okay, looks more like metallic blue with which is the same kind of color scheme that they use throughout all the other weapon metals of weapon, which I'm gonna show you right now with the gun. Okay, now we are being given this kind of pistols, also the same mold. Okay, very not bad actually, but same color with what Star-Lord has, metallic gray. Okay, now this is from the comic pack. Okay, bluish, right, similar with the sword, right? And then this is what we have from the single card. Now this is turbo. Okay, I still prefer the one from the box set or from the comic pack, so that's cool. And not only that, the good news is that we are being given 2 pieces of this in this box set, so she can wield 2 guns, this gunslinger. Okay, for Rocket, it's still very much the same body mold. Okay, no differences on the mold side, but there are differences on the paint side. Okay, the very noticeable one is the paint on the face. Okay, this is from the box set and this is from the single card. Okay, this one looks better, I think. Okay, it's more intricate compared to this one, in my opinion. This reminds me of the paint scheme on the face of 6-inch Entertainment exclusive Marvel Legends. So that's cool, I guess, because the same colorway on the uniform. So the blue part here is, like I mentioned, is kind of a bit lighter or more pale compared to the single card, and it has more shading on this one. And similar to Star-Lord, the color of the belt here is brown, dark brown, whereas the single card is black. Okay, the red is very much the same, and the other differences is the paint scheme on the tail. Alright, on the tail, it has white touches there, whereas this is how it looked like on the single card version. So there's a bit of differences on the paint on the fur. It uses more of dark brown, where this more like a lighter brown color. Okay, articulation is the same. It's a half statue, so you have ball joint on the head. Okay, and you have movement on the tail. That's all. So following the colorway of the to be consistent with the gun of Star-Lord and Gomorrah from the box set. Okay, the box set Rocket Raccoon has this metallic silver painted as well, whereas the one from the single card is painted very similar to what the single card Star-Lord has on his guns. Okay, but it's still very much similar, very similar. It's the same mold basically. Now for Grid, it's very much similar body mold. Okay, the whole mold is the same with the one on the comic pack. It was the very first time it was released. Okay, but somehow they released it on this uniform, and finally they released it on this color scheme of the uniform with the red and blue, but with the box set. Okay, that's, well, you know, Hasbro. Anyway, of course I cannot give you a comparison on the cannot tell how different is very different on the uniform. Okay, but probably just to highlight a little bit is that it is the blue here very similar to what Star-Lord and Rocket had on their uniform. Okay, not much shading. All right, and then the pocket belt here is also dark brown, similar with what Rocket Raccoon and Star-Lord have. Okay, so it tries to be consistent. Now comparing the skin color, Okay, this is more of a light what do you call it, brown, whereas this is very dark. But after other than that, very similar really. Of course, you can always blend this version with the single cut version. Yeah, the blue is different, but somehow possible. So the articulation for this one is the same with what we have on with the comic pack. The head on ball joint, very nice mold, by the way. It's a very cool Groot, very long overdue at the time when it was released. Ball hinge. Okay, so rotation. So I'll just do it quickly. The elbow. Okay, band is this much rotation. Yeah, a bit hindered by the mold. No wrist rotation. No rotation on the waist as well. Now on mine, the ball joint on the right thigh here is a bit loose. It's okay, I'll try to fix it later, but it's the same. It's the ball joint with opening, so you can do split, front kick, back kick. Oops. Yeah, basically ball joint motion, and that's all. No rotation. The knee, and you can turn it around 360. The mold is cool actually. And oh yeah, on my figure also this pivot is kind of loose, but you have rock ankle or the pivot, and you have up and down motion. Alright, so here it is. All the team combined, okay, together. I'm not going to do a height measurement and comparison, because the height of all these figures are very much similar to the comic pack and the single card. So please check my previous videos on that. You can have more details on that. But now I think the underlying question is it worth it, right? For the price to get this box set, and then okay, my opinion is that I think the question is that if you love 3/4 inch and you have no plan to customize, and you still have not get these figures, I mean Guardians of the Galaxy, and you love the themes, please get it. Okay, you can get it. You get a whole team in one package. Okay, so less a hassle. And then probably if you want to, you can try to find a single card here. Okay, may not be very hard, probably, I'm not sure, to find the helmet version. Okay, and you can probably customize the neck, paint it a little bit if you want to, with the uniform color, and you can just swap the head. Now but if you already have the comic pack, okay, the comic pack, which is why the most people will go for the comic pack because of Groot, right? This Groot. Please don't buy this, in my opinion. Well, you can always, if you want to get the same leg with drags, you can just modify, for example, yourself, using parts from other figure like this Iron Man. It's very similar. Use this and use other kind of tie, as long as it fits and it uses ball joints. That's the easiest. Of course, if you want to do customization more than that, it's up to you. Probably change the lower body or anything you want. Please do it. Okay, but at least it costs you less. Okay, so you can just swap it with the legs. Okay, but if you only got the single card figure and somewhat single card figure with this color scheme, and somewhat you want to have the this grid, okay, to match it. I'm not sure. I mean, the the price is quite pricey. Maybe you can wait until the price drop down, or you can just bet on your luck to get probably somebody will sell this by itself, then you can snatch it. Okay, but otherwise the single card is actually much better in terms of paint. And I mean, for Star-Lord, for especially, you get the helmet. I think if I were going to choose between the two, I'll still choose this. I don't really care the unmasked version. I care this for this helmet because it's very cool. So the choices are up to you. Thanks guys for watching. I'm Austin from A White Heart. Subscribe the channel, like the video. Goodbye.